Alright, this is your situation. You might be a little fat, and you want to lose that fat. Or maybe you're athletic and you want to just increase your fitness so that you can beat everyone. Or you just want to improve your overall health. This is my promise to you. I will teach you how to improve your fitness so that you can beat everyone who is competing with you in terms of fitness. And you can beat everyone effortlessly with this technique that I learned. And if you want to lose more fat, the technique I'm about to teach you will increase your metabolism, which means you will burn more fat and you will be less fat. Alright, so all you need to do is just to make this video full screen and just give me your full attention. And I'll teach you how to exercise faster, longer, whilst also feeling less tired. Okay, let's start. So what is this magic thing that will improve your fitness? Nose breathing. Nose breathing is very healthy for you. But how is it that nose breathing will make you better at exercising, right? Nose breathing will improve your fitness in two ways, which is it will increase your CO2 and your nitric oxide. So those are two very important gases within your body that will increase your fitness. So when you nose breathe, if you've ever tried like running whilst nose breathing, it's really hard because when you nose breathe, your breathing slows down. Whilst like when you mouth breathe, you can just get air in and out, in and out. Whilst nose breathing, there's like a delay. You have to. So nose breathing will slow down your breathing. What is the consequence of that? What is the effect of that? It will actually increase the amount of CO2 in your blood. So let's say this hand here is how much CO2 is in your blood whilst mouth breathing, and this is how much CO2 is in your blood whilst nose breathing. If you nose breathe, you will have a higher amount of CO2 in your blood because you're nose breathing, which slows down the amount of air that you get into your lungs. So you'll have more CO2 in your blood. Now that sounds like a bad thing to some of you. Having more CO2 in your blood, don't you want to like reduce it and add more oxygen to your blood? So in order to answer that, we need to first understand the science of how like oxygen goes around your body, right? So when you breathe in, your lungs expand and they are filled up with air. And within your lungs, there's a special cell called hemoglobin that takes the oxygen within your lungs and it circulates around your body. Right? So it gets oxygen from your lungs and it goes around your body. And when it comes into contact with a cell, it will open up to allow the oxygen to reach inside the cell. And like, you've probably never asked this obvious question, but why do we need oxygen? What's the purpose, the role of oxygen within our body? There's this thing that our body does called metabolism, which basically just means you create energy. You extract energy from food. And in order to create energy, in order to have metabolism, you need oxygen, right? Kind of like how In order for an engine to create motion, you need gas. In order for your cells to create energy, you need oxygen. Right? So that's a very good analogy that you can keep in mind. Oxygen allows metabolism to happen. It allows your cells to create energy. The more energy you have, the more capacity you have to exercise. Right? And so the hemoglobin, it releases the oxygen into the cell, which allows the cell to create energy. However, in order for the hemoglobin to open up, it needs another molecule or another gas called CO2. When CO2 binds to hemoglobin, it opens up, which allows the oxygen to pass into the cell. Right? Just like how you need a key in order to open a door, you need CO2 to open up hemoglobin to allow oxygen to pass inside a cell and allow it to create energy. So if you can have a lot of oxygen within your blood, but low CO2. If you have hemoglobin, you have oxygen within the hemoglobin, however, you don't have any CO2, then oxygen cannot reach the cell. It's as if the oxygen wasn't there in the first place. And so you need both oxygen and CO2, because CO2 is what allows the energy, or the cell, to get the oxygen from the hemoglobin. Right? In biology, that's called the Bohr effect, Bohr effect, where it just describes when CO2 binds to hemoglobin and hemoglobin opens up to allow oxygen to pass into the cell. And so returning back to the point I was talking about earlier, when you nose breathe whilst running or doing whatever exercise you do, it will increase the CO2 in your blood. And that's really good. Why? Because in order for your cells to receive oxygen, they need the hemoglobin to open up so that the oxygen can get inside the cell. And in order for the hemoglobin to open up, you need CO2. Right? It's the key to opening the door of hemoglobin. And so the more CO2 you have, the more oxygen that your cells can access. Right? And the more oxygen that your cells can access, the more energy that they can create. And the more energy that you have, the better your muscles are able to contract, the better your brain is able to think, and basically your entire body improves as a whole, because you have increased metabolism, you have increased creation of energy, because you have more access to oxygen. Right? And so that's the first reason why nose breathing whilst doing exercising will make you more fit. It's because it slows down your breathing, which then increases the buildup of CO2 in your blood, which then increases the access to oxygen within your cells. So your cells get more oxygen because more of it is able to leave the hemoglobin. And the more energy you're able to create, and therefore the better your muscle can contract, the stronger your heart and muscles will be. So that's the first reason. It will increase CO2, which then increases the amount of energy that you have. The second reason of why nose breathing will improve your fitness is nitric oxide. When you nose breathe, it does a bunch of things, like heating up the air, but one of the things that it does is it creates this gas called nitric oxide. When you breathe in air through your nose, you will get nitric oxide, which is really good for you When you mouth breathe, you don't create nitric oxide. Only nose breathing will do that. What does nitric oxide do? There's a bunch of functions, but mainly it does vasoregulation, so it dilates and constricts your blood vessels, homeostasis, and neurotransmission. Having more nitric oxide in your blood increases blood circulation throughout your body, which means your cells can get more nutrients and oxygen, which then allows it to create more energy and more energy for movement. Right? So it improves your fitness by increasing the amount of blood circulation around your body, which allows it to get more nutrients. And it's also very good for your overall health. It improves neurotransmission and homeostasis as well. So that's also very good for your overall health. Nitric oxide, so that's the second benefit of nose breathing whilst running. You have nitric oxide increase, which then increases your fitness and overall health by blood circulation and other things. So yeah, nose breathing will improve your fitness in two ways. It will increase the amount of CO2 in your blood, which then allows you to have more energy. Nitric oxide will improve your blood circulation, which allows your body to get more nutrients and therefore create more energy. Right. So if you just want the essentials of what nose breathing will do for your running or your exercise, it will just allow your body to create more energy, to enhance metabolism. So now that you understand that nose breathing is really healthy for you and that it will improve your performance in whatever exercise you want to do, how do you correctly breathe whilst exercising? How do you correctly nose breathe so that you can actually get the most benefit out of it? Well, it's pretty obvious. You just nose breathe in and out. And there's a very specific kind of breathing that I do, which is you nose breathe in and you nose breathe out. So it's not like you nose, when you inhale you nose breathe, and when you exhale you mouth breathe. That's not the right way. The best way, the most optimal, ideal, best case scenario way is you fully nose breathe, where you inhale nose breathing and you exhale nose breathing. It allows it maximally slows down your breathing, which then maximally increases CO2, which then increases your access to oxygen and energy, etc. That was a slight burp right there. So when you fully nose breathe, in order to derive the most benefit from nose breathing whilst exercising, instead of mouth breathing whilst doing it, you just nose breathe. You just nose breathe all the way through, in and out, not in and then mouth breathe out. You have to do it both ways. And when you try this for the first time, you'll feel very breathless. I remember when I used to run, just nose breathing fully. It's I was I just wanted to stop so hard because I was it was so hard to keep running because I was so breathless from nose breathing. I even had to I was forced to take a few gasps of air through my mouth. But if you just consistently exercise or if you consistently nose breathe fully whilst exercising, after like 2 to 3 weeks, that breathlessness will just stop. It will just disappear. And what you'll find after 2 to 3 weeks, when your breathlessness disappears from nose breathing, because your body will just get used to it. Your body is like known for adjusting to its environment. After it removes the breathlessness, you'll notice that you'll be able to run faster and longer, whilst also feeling less tired by the time you stop running. In fact, sometimes I feel even more energized when I run whilst nose breathing rather than mouth breathing. And that's due to like the CO2 and all the science that I explained, nitric oxide from earlier, that I hopefully that you understood. So that's a mindset right there. If you feel breathless from nose breathing, it's fine, you're not gonna die. I'm still alive and I like run every day whilst also fully nose breathing. And I'm still alive. I've been doing this for like months now. So you can do it. It's very likely that you won't suffocate unless you're like a very severe mouth breather. So if you feel breathless, it's fine. You're not gonna die. It's temporary, so it will like end after 2 to 3 weeks of consistent exercise with nose breathing. And there's this quote, "From stress comes growth." This breathlessness creates stress in your body. But just like how in order for a muscle to grow, you need to put it through stress, your fitness will grow from the stress of breathlessness. So breathlessness is a good sign because it's giving you stress. It's making it harder for your body to actually exercise, but that's how your body grows. You need to hurt it a bit, break it down, so that when it recovers, it comes back stronger. So, yeah. And an extra tip, if you want, like, even more benefits to this, make sure you do, like, belly breathing. So basically, like, instead of, like, breathing, nose breathing, like, you breathe from the upper part of your chest. That's not good. The better way is to breathe from your belly. Your belly rises and then your lungs rise. What that does is it fully inflates your lungs with as much air as possible, but it also slows down breathing as well. Right? So nose breathing will slow down your breathing more. And then belly breathing will also, on top of nose breathing, will slow it down even more, which means you get even higher, even more CO2, which then means more energy. And that means more energy means a stronger heart and stronger muscles. So that's a quick tip. But for now, you can just start with nose breathing. If you like, when you commute and instead of like going to be like picked up by a car, or you're just, instead of like going for the bus, if you walk to school, for example, you can like start like jogging. You don't need to like go full intense sprints, but you can just go like jog whilst also nose breathing. You'll get like really breathless, but remember, it's temporary, and feeling breathless is good for you, right? It means that you're growing, because from stress comes growth. And an extra tip, if you want to maximize your fitness more, you can just belly breathe instead, where your belly rises first and then your lungs, which then slows down breathing even more. And you'll be able to, in my experience, you'll be able to run faster, longer, and feel less fatigued. Sometimes you'll feel no fatigue at all. So that's my experience with nose breathing whilst running, and hopefully you have the same experience. Definitely you will have the same experience. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and who knows, if your subscription might motivate me to release more videos, so it's a win-win situation for both of us, right? If you made it to the end, I'm proud of you. That means you have a bigger attention span than you realize, and attention is like a very important resource in this world. So the fact that you were able to watch through this whole unedited video means you have pretty good attention span, which means you'll be able to affect the world. You'll be able to change the world a lot easier. So give yourself a pat on the back for like watching this entire thing. And yeah, see you later.